How's it going, everyone? My name is Yan, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Planet Coaster 2, and welcome back to Belleflore. In the first episode, we've taken a look at the entrance and the manor grounds, which was already a massive episode. Well, today won't be any different. We're taking a look at the first area I've made for the park, which has a junior Ferris wheel, a junior train ride, a Zamperla Nebulaz, my very first proper restaurant, and of course, the one thing you're all here for, our first coaster, Zierer Force Custom. And just before we go check it all out, I really wanted to thank Ms. Mapes for giving me the idea of changing the old faded prices from euros to francs, which was the old currency in the country, and also thanks to Paul Gervaux for reminding me to put chimneys on the manor, which I'd totally forgotten in the first episode. And we're gonna try something completely different compared to the update format we've done in the last episode. We're going straight into the new area, no updates and no magical fairy dust or whatever. No, we're going straight into our new area, which is called Vapeur-sur-Rails. It means steam on rails in English, and yeah, I love this name. It's obviously a village themed to trains, kind of. I know it's kind of weird now that I say it out loud, but yeah, no, it's a cool concept, and all of our areas are going to be themed around a village or a town of sorts. So this one, for example, is one that's themed around trains, but for example, the one that's all the way over there after the manor grounds is Wildwater, and this one is going to be our American town, so that's going to be interesting. But the American town will not come on the console phase of the project. Unfortunately, I think I'm only going to be able to do the entrance that we've done in the last episode, Vapeur-sur-Rails, and then another area that we'll talk about a little later on. But if you want to see Wildwater and of course every other area that's planned around the lake here, do consider becoming a channel supporter, because that's really the one way, the quickest way as well for me to get a PC and for you guys to support me the most effectively, essentially. But back to Vapeur-sur-Rails, as you might realize, this wasn't originally themed to that in the lore of the park, at the very least. Obviously, when I've built it, this obviously started already as a train-themed area. No, essentially what happened is, by the way, that's the first time I've seen these guys walk around the what are they doing in the playground? But yeah, essentially all of the infrastructure was kind of there already, and it was kind of unthemed, you know, kind of the way we have the unthemed chair swings right here. No, this one was totally unthemed, and then once they started doing other themed areas in the future for us, obviously, but in the lore of the park, very early on in the history of the park, they thought that, yeah, we really need to up our game compared to what we have in the first area, and so that's what they've done. So for example, this play area basically was already there, but it got repainted. It has this little train now that's got a little seesaw here. That's really cool, by the way. I love how the seesaw looks like those mine carts, you know, that you have to go up and down to make them work. It's really fun, and also you have a little button here that does a little noise if you press it. Listen to that. Hope you could hear that one more time. Yeah, a little choo-choo here for the kids. It's really cute. Look at this little locomotive here. I love this. Love this so much. And then of course you have... What are you doing? I didn't know this was a guest hotspot, but hey, whatever. You guys do whatever you want here. Even though technically only the kid is allowed to be here. The teenagers are not supposed to be here. But anyway, yeah, you have your classic play structure here, so you have, you know, climbing things, a pole to go down, a little ladder here, a rope to go up, and then you have two slides, a more classic slide here, and a tube slide here. So yeah, you have a good variety. It's really ruining the illusion, isn't it? And then you have other things like this. Don't ask me what this is, I just know that there are things like that in playgrounds, and then you have the the little zip line here. That's really fun as well. It's really there to, you know, fill some dead space here, because you have those two F&B units. You have the La Fourgonnette on one side, the fry shop, and then you have Le Matinal, which we're about to see, don't worry, on the other. And so I thought, you know, as I used to do when we went to, I don't know, McDonald's when I was a kid, or things like that, there used to be a lot of play structures in fast foods. And so basically what parents used to do was just eat and, you know, relax and have their little ones burn energy in those play structures. So that was the idea, especially at Le Matinal. You know, it's kind of this place where you can get some breakfast. As you can see, you have a local boulangerie, a bakery essentially, for those of you who don't know what a boulangerie is. And yeah, it's locally produced, so every once in a while during the day there will be a truck that comes to resupply not only this but also other places like our restaurants for desserts, and of course you can get some coffee here as well. And something that I love with this place is the fact that you can see the pastries, the croissant, the pain au chocolat, the eclairs and the baguettes down under the counter. This is what I like with the counters. You can really like be creative. It's like a blank slate, and you can make anything you want with the counters. So yeah, it's a good thing that they're in the game. And yeah, as you can see, this is a very typical style of build. This would have been something that was originally in the park before the area got rethemed, and it just fits. So you know, it's kind of lucky that it does. But yeah, this is basically an old press kiosk from, I don't know, French cities in general, and we can imagine that the park saw that one was going to be demolished because this is not something that's really in use in the digital age, and so they decided to buy it from a town, and so now it's here in the park, and it's Le Matinal. And we also have, yeah, this really cool terrace here next to the tiny junior train, which we're gonna see in a second, don't worry. Just before we get to the junior train, we have to talk about the junior Ferris wheel. Our little wheel, our little whirly rig, our little tiny eye. I love this type of ride in the game. They're so cute, aren't they? Like, look at it. So cute. I love it. I love it so much. This one is called Tous à bord, so it means all aboard in French. And yeah, look at that. You can imagine that originally the park didn't have any theme attached to this flat ride, and then once they started to think about the re-theme, they ordered some, well, I don't know what the manufacturer of this ride type is, but they ordered some custom carriages, and look at that, they're like train carriages with wheels and everything, and like when it stops on those rails and in front of this tunnel. It's really cool. I love this so much. Like, look at this. It's simple, so you know it's believable as a kiddie ride, but it's still got that little bit of detail, so you also believe that it's a train carriage. I love this so much. Really do. I really do. But hey, now that we've seen this, we can go inside the train station, because yes, I've made a big train station, and essentially the idea was to have a covered area, kind of like the new Dock World area at Wallaby, Belgium. But instead of having a cannery factory, which wouldn't have made any sense with the train theme, this time it's the Gare de Vapeur-sur-Rails, the train station of Vapeur-sur-Rails. And yes, I love this build so much. It houses Chou. So Chou is kind of a play on words between Choo, the French choo-choo, and Chou, which means cute in French, essentially. So it's like a cute choo-choo, essentially, if you prefer. And we're about to get that on platform 1, as you can see. But just before we get there, I want to check out this little diorama here. Look at it. Look at this. It's so cool. It's so cool. Ode au Nord, so Ode to the North essentially, if you prefer, is a diorama with a model railway that I've made on stream a little while ago now, and it's supposed to represent that SNCF classic 1970s, 1980s train, locomotive, and carriages as well, and it goes around the landscape of northern France, which is where not only the park is set, but also this whole area is supposed to represent, which I love. This is where I live, this is where I'm from, so I really love this region, and I hope it is felt through my passion making this. So yeah, here you have a tiny train station which is called Gare des Corons. So the corons are, as you can see here on the little explanatory, it's kind of edutainment. Edutainment? Is that the correct sentence? You know, at Epcot when they make you learn, but it's also entertainment. I think that's the way they call it. And basically, those are neighborhoods that were built for the miners. Then you can imagine that they go on the train and then go around the terril. So the terril is called, well, terri. Yeah, we say terri. It's called a spoiled tip in English. It's a mound of mining waste, as you can see. Very tall one as well. And then you have the mine here, which you can recognize in the landscape with those, beautiful. It depends on who you ask, but because it's still industry, right? But I find them really beautiful, those really industrial mining elevators here, as you can see. And then you have a factory, of metallurgy here, which is the logical. It's kind of the cycle of water, but here it's kind of the cycle of coal and mine workers and workers in general, because that's kind of the force, the driving force of our region, or at least historically that's what it's been. So I'm really proud to have done this, and also it looks really, really cool, and it's a really good centerpiece, isn't it? Sorry, I got distracted by Ode au Nord and the diorama here. Let's go on Chou at platform 1. On platform 1? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with train terms in English, to be honest. But here you can see we have an actual platform with benches and everything. Let's go on the ride. Let's go on. I think it's this one, and my favorite seat is this one. And yeah, it really does look like a train platform here, the platform 1. We're also going to check out platform 2 in the future, but not just yet. And yeah, you can see we have a maintenance track here for our second train, and right as you start, you go on the edge of the water to see the rest of the park that's not built yet, but hopefully once I get a PC, we'll see the entire loop of the park complete. We have a little pond here, which is really cute, and then you get to an area inside the layout of the train, and you'll see how I've done that. It's really, really cool. Then we have our Zamperla Nebulaz here that we'll see in a few minutes. Love this so much, and I love how it adds so much kinetic energy to the area. It's so great. And of course the train goes around it like this. Here we have our restaurant, which we'll see in a few minutes as well, but there you can see the pedestrian crossing that I was talking about. Obviously you have to suspend your disbelief because these guys are about to crash into the train. There we go. But yeah, that was the way I kind of added some space to the area. And there we go. That's a nice, relaxing train ride when you don't have me talking over it. So as I've said before the train departed, we're not going to check out platform 2 just yet. We're going to finish by platform 2, in fact. But we're going to go from left to right, essentially, and finish with the coaster. So let's go. So, first of all, we have this really, really cool pedestrian crossing with Ne pas passer si rouge. Unfortunately, we don't have that train crossing sound. Sorry, my mouth did a weird thing here. But yeah, essentially, you would have this little ding, 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 ding sound when a train goes past, especially in theme parks. I only have the red light and the train going choo choo. I don't know if we can see we can see the trigger here that I've placed. So every time we're going to have a trigger from now on, or at least in this park, you'll be able to see it physically under the track or somewhere near the track. It's going to be really cool. We have our toilets here, as I've said in the last episode. I'm not going to do custom toilets because yeah, first of all, it's way too hard on the percentage on console, and also because, like, come on, this is a toilet block. This is very tall. A toilet block is very tall, so there's no way that I would be able to make an actual toilet in here. But yeah, this is our toilets here. Really nice toilets. You can imagine that those are the remains of the original area, you know, the area that wasn't really themed. And then you have a little picnic area here next to the water. We have a little unthemed, well, not really unthemed, unbranded, that's the word I was looking for, vending machine here that I've basically reused the concept of the one that I've done on stream, the sci-fi one I've done on stream a little while ago as well. And look at that, it's so cool with the ads for the little I don't know, coils, springs, coils, I think they're called. It's really cool, really cool, and every single color is the one that are the ones, sorry, that are on the button. And you have a little sign here: your can is recyclable, votre canette se recycle. So yeah, really nice. And then we have this massive right plot that I hate. The Zamperla Nebulaz. So the problem with the Zamperla Nebulaz, ours is called Machine à Vapeur, so it's called the steam engine. It's really cool, it's really nice to theme that kind of ride, but the massive problem is the massive ride plot. And so essentially what I've had to do is to hide the ride plot as best as I could. So I created this little planner, but as you can see, you can only walk on the ride plot. So the ride plot goes from here to here, all the way here on the train tracks, and then here. It was so annoying to cover it all up, especially because you had the little white track of the train showing up, so I had to use fake, well, not fake, but you know, pieces of dirt to make it seem like, to make it blend in with the terrain dirt. Then you go all the way here. So yeah, huge ride plot for this tiny ride. I did my best to cover it all up, and unfortunately that meant that the queue line had to be tiny, and we are already seeing the side effect of that. But hey, it is what it is, and actually I'm kind of proud to have fit something like that in such a tiny space, because in the end, I'm probably gonna put some cinematics of how small this little space is because of the train, and how the loop of the train is really small. But I fit so much inside this, and this is kind of the running theme with this area, really, to use the space effectively. You know, nowhere is a dead space. Every single space is used, and that's how a real park would do it, right? And as you cross back into the main part of the area, you have beautiful views of our little coaster. We'll check that out in a second. Look at that. We also have this really nice fountain that's using the Western train, and I love this so much. It's kind of bronze looking, and I don't know, this place really felt empty without it, so I thought, you know what, let's go all out. Let's go with a train fountain here. And so if you follow the train track here, we have what will lead to our next area in episode 3. So the next area is going to be split in 2 episodes. I don't know if I've said that already, because I'm not good with memory. But anyway, point is, yeah, this next area is going to be split into two, and they're probably going to be the last episodes that I do on console, and then the series will take a break. I'll do another project, and we'll do basically the rest of the park on PC once I get the PC. It may be a while, but I'll never forget about Belleflore because it's probably my best series yet. But anyway, the next area is going to be a German area set in the Alps, essentially. So that's why this thing says, and I'm sorry for my pronunciation in advance, but Willkommen in Alpenstadt, something like that. Hopefully that won't offend the Germans. But yeah, Alpenstadt is going to be our next area, and I'm really, really excited with what we're going to do in this area. But anyway, next up we have the Bistrot. Yeah, I love the Bistrot. It's such a cool thing to have an actual restaurant and to see, guests just relaxing and eating their meal. It's just so cool. So the Bistrot is a relic of the old area, essentially. This is something that stayed the same, and basically you can see that with the architectural style. You have the same kind of thing that you have in the entrance of the park, but also with the toilets over there that we've just seen a second ago. And yeah, it's basically your typical French bistro, more specifically a northern French bistro, and so you can see some specialties like the burger maroilles, which is, the maroilles is like a very strong cheese of northern France. Then you have the Welsh. Don't worry, no Welsh people were harmed making this dish. It's kind of like an egg and cheese and something like that. I don't know, I'm not into that. I've never eaten that, to be honest. And then you have mussels, moule, which are just delicious, and every single dish includes fries, and then you have desserts that also are made in partnership with the bakery that I was talking about earlier with Le Matinal. And then you have, of course, the beer of the moment. I don't know if you guys have that in England or whatever, but it's kind of a local beer probably that's being promoted, and they'll change every once in a while. It's really cool. It's really something that restaurants do often or at least the restaurants that I go to, they do that often, to have specific beers are at specific moments of the year. And then once you go inside, you're greeted by the queue line and the self-service here, and I love this so much. This is absolutely inspired by what Whoa, why did I say it as a Frenchman here? I am a Frenchman, but still. What Mineral has done with Le Réfectoire de Peter in oh my god, Jardin Magique. There we go. And yeah, basically you have the trays here, you have some plates, and then you go and take your dish of choice. So you have the pièce de bœuf here, you have the hamburger, the cheeseburger, the maroilles burger, the Welsh. Don't worry, again, no Welsh people were harmed in the making of this. And then you have the mussels here. They're served in those types of I don't know the word, of this. And then you have fries that are made freshly as well, so you can grab those, and then you can grab a dessert if you want, and also have a drink from the Sodamax machine here that is being repurposed from my Kimtasa Park soda machine that I have in my restaurants, even though this one is not gulpy or so delightful. And then you have, oops, sorry, cutting in line, beautiful teenagers, the youth, I swear. But anyway, those are supposed to represent the utensils, essentially, the fork, the spoon, the knife, whatever. And then you have a little fridge for the beer of the moment. You have some fictional toilets here, and then you have the inside seating here. And look at this. This place is so cozy, so beautiful. I love this. And I've used the right photos as well to do some frames, because obviously we don't have, see, it's updating in real time. We don't have custom media on console. And I've tried to use the right photos to take a picture of the manor. Unfortunately, the angles just do not work. Whatever I try, I've really tried everything, and it is a bummer, but it is what it is. I can understand why it's like that, and it's still an absolute miracle that they managed to. Sorry, it just disappeared like they got Thanos out of the air. But yeah, that's what I've used to make some frames, and I'm gonna add some future coasters to those frames in the future. So yeah, it's great. But look at that! It's so great to have actual guests eating around the restaurants here. It's so cool. Even outside. Well, we don't have anyone outside at the moment, but we had just a second ago. It's so cool, and you have this beautiful view of the rest of the area. I just love this feature. Like anything that, there we go. Everything that adds new behaviors to guests is just like a joy to play with. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time to focus on our coaster, our Zierer Force Custom Choo. Yeah, this time it's actually called Choo. It's not Choo like the tiny train that we have here on the pedestrian crossing. No, this one is called Choo. It's the actual French, well, Choo. It's literally the same pronunciation. But yeah, as you enter here, you have the accessible entrance for handicapped people. It's very important in France and, well, basically anywhere really that's up to norms. But yeah, it's really important for me to pay attention to the accès PMR, as we say in French. It's really important because I haven't done it in Camtasia Park, or not to the extent that I wanted to do it. And since we're gonna have a park that really takes advantage of the terrain, as you can see here, obviously, but as you'll see in the next couple episodes, yeah, it's really important to me. And then you have a cattle pen here, looking at the restaurant, and also at the lift hill. It's really nice to have those this option to make the modular cattle pens that I've shown in the last episode, and then you go up to the station. So while the train is here, let's talk about this one. It's really inspired by Voldemp, I think, at Trips Drill. It's a Vekoma family boomerang, and yeah, you can see the locomotive is really similar, and you also have the smoke machine blowing smoke up the smokestack. And then you have, of course, custom Zierer headrests, well, Zierer Force headrests, because we don't have that model in the game. It's technically I don't know, really. It's kind of a hybrid between a Vekoma roller skater, but also an old Zierer Tivoli, so it's kind of weird, but you know, I made it work, and I've turned it into a Zierer Force, and now, like, look at this. Beautiful. I've left the station with this kind of open style, because I really wanted to have the view of the background here from when you go out of the train station here. And it's really inspired by what I've done on Tiny Rockets earlier in the year. In fact, the operator booth is literally that. So let's get inside here. You have some light switches, a power outlet, a little bin here, and also the coaster stats. So height 11 meters, speed 47 kilometers per hour, and length 277 meters. It's pretty tame, but you know what? I think it's worth getting a ride on this. Let's take a ride, guys. I think it's a really cool ride, and it's really the perfect hybrid between a kiddie coaster and a family coaster, so I really like it. My main inspiration was Tabalugas Achterbahn at former holiday park, now Plopsaland, Deutschland, and this ride is, well, that ride that I'm talking about is a Zierer Force 2. So in the lore of the park, this was originally a Zierer Force 2, and you can see that in the beginning of the layout and also the end. But then, right as you go inside this tunnel, the layout really changes. And so the idea is that this used to be open air, essentially, and once they started the retheme of this entire area, they spent a lot of money to have this completely retracked and completely rethemed, and not only retracked but also changed. And so now we have a Force Custom from a Force 2. So that's the idea. It was a clone model at first, but now it's not anymore, and it's really interesting to imagine the history behind a ride like this. So I love this. I absolutely love this. And you may have noticed that your photo has been taken over here once you cross the bridge next to the waterfall, and that's because I told you we were going to go at platform 2. We have some ride photos here. My first ride photo shop. It's so cool. Look at this with a little Easter egg with the 1608, obviously. 1608 is everywhere in this park. It's so funny, but it's also in my name. It's my day of birth, so yeah. I love this. The 16th of August. The roller coaster day, actually. Did you know that? It's such a nice coincidence. But yeah, this thing is called Train Spotting, and Train Spotting is inside a custom train carriage. So I love this stand here. It's so cool. And next to Train Spotting, our little carriage with the shop inside it, again, I love this. It's also, you know, a place where you can relax, kind of away from the main pathway and next to the queue line of Tous that we've seen earlier in the episode. But we also have a staff access here. And yes, this is the first time I really do some backstages. So let's go. We have the brake run here of Chou with the I don't even know what that would be called in English, but you know, the technical stuff is inside there. And so you can technically access in the lore the show building from here. But also, you know, this is a real park. So you have access to the machinery for our little flat ride over there, our little junior wheel. This is still empty because there is going to be a staff car park once I get on PC. I'm not doing it right now, but I will make it at some point. So that's why all of this side is temporary. It doesn't have bushes or terrain paint. It just has some scenery brush going on here. And then you have the show building here. And look at this. Everything is pathed, so you can actually check out the inside of the show building. It's so cool. I love the idea of just being able to walk inside the ride area and have the backstage tour of those rides. Something I'm so fascinated by, and I love when parks do this. Usually I'm obviously not invited to those, but when I see it on, I don't know, Theme Park Worldwide, for example, I love seeing that kind of stuff. And obviously you have a ladder to access the roof and the air conditioning, and then you have a little road here that goes up and goes at the back of the Bistrot. And obviously you have the bins here with the trash and the boxes that they don't use, some parking spots for the Bistrot, and over there for the technicians that would work on Chou, and then obviously this door is linked to the inside of this restaurant. I love this so much. But yeah, it's kind of everything that I have to show you so far, and I know it's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot, but I've loved doing this little tour with you guys. I always do. And voila! This is all I've done for this packed second episode of Belleflore. Don't worry, the next area will be divided into 2 episodes because otherwise it would be way too many things to show you in a single video. As you know, this park is a labor of love. I'm putting so much passion and effort into making this project for you, and since I'll need a PC if I want to finish it, consider becoming a channel supporter. You'll have early access to new episodes, sneak peeks at the new additions to the park, as well as having your name featured at the end of the videos and in the park too. All that for €2.99 a month, which is not a lot, and the more supporters there are, the longer I can keep doing this as my full-time job. And of course, if you've just found this channel thanks to this new series and you've enjoyed it, guess what? There's plenty more where that came from, so make sure to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment down below, and why not even share it to your friends? Speaking of friends, join me and my friends on the Yan HQ Discord server. It's a very nice place to share your builds and chat with a lot of nice people. But for now, this has been Yan, you've been awesome, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Belleflore.